Hey everyone, Clifton Powell, one of Hollywood's most underrated yet unforgettable actors, has finally broken his silence on what really went down behind the scenes of Next Friday, and the revelations are darker and more shocking than fans could have ever imagined. Peeling back the curtain on a film that many believed was just a hilarious, harmless sequel, but in reality was built on tension, betrayal, and creative chaos that tested everyone involved. Most people remember Powell as the unforgettable Pinky, the flashy, unpredictable, and quick-tempered record store owner whose scenes instantly became cult classics. His over-the-top energy, wild improvisation, and the infamous gun-pulling moment made him one of the most quoted characters in the Friday franchise. But what most fans never knew is that behind those hysterical moments was a storm brewing. Conflicts between cast members, production issues, and personal struggles that nearly derailed the film entirely. In recent interviews, Powell has opened up like never before, confessing that Next Friday wasn't the easy, fun-filled set people imagined. It was a battleground of egos, exhaustion, and pain disguised as comedy. He revealed that when he first came onto the project, he was unaware of just how different the atmosphere would be from the original Friday movie. The absence of Chris Tucker as Smokey created a massive void on set. Ice Cube, who had not only written and produced the sequel but was also leading it, was under immense pressure to deliver a follow-up that could live up to the cultural phenomenon of the first film. According to Powell, the tension was palpable. Cube was serious, business-minded, and laser-focused on making the film work, while many of the cast was still treating it like a laid-back neighborhood comedy. Powell admitted that his character, Pinky, was written differently at first. It was supposed to be a smaller, one-note appearance, but he saw potential to turn the character into something iconic, and his improvisations on set reportedly rubbed some crew members and even fellow castmates the wrong way. He claimed that some people thought he was trying to steal scenes and make the movie about himself, which led to subtle arguments and behind-the-scenes tension that lasted throughout filming. One of the biggest revelations Powell shared was about how dangerous one particular moment really was. The famous gun scene, where Pinky nearly shoots Day-Day and Craig, wasn't fully choreographed. The prop gun had malfunctioned earlier during rehearsal, and there were concerns about safety on set, something Powell says the production downplayed at the time to keep things moving. He admitted that the fear on the actors' faces in that scene wasn't all acting. Some of it was genuine because of how chaotic the moment had become. Powell even described a few close calls during filming where props weren't handled properly, and tempers flared between the production team and performers over the fast-paced shooting schedule and lack of proper safety protocols. But perhaps the darkest revelation came when he described the emotional environment on set, calling it a family with open wounds. He hinted that some cast members were battling personal demons during production, substance use, depression, financial issues, and that many of the laughs the audience saw on screen came from people masking their pain. Powell shared that one of his saddest memories from filming was seeing how some of his fellow actors, who were once full of promise, struggled to find steady work after the movie wrapped, as the Friday franchise didn't pay what fans assumed it did. He claimed many cast members were underpaid for their roles, earning only a fraction of what the sequel eventually made in profit. Powell said it hurt to watch his peers become cultural icons without ever seeing the financial rewards they deserved. He also opened up about his own struggles during that period: financial instability, typecasting, and being misunderstood by Hollywood as too intense or too street, which he says made it hard for him to land certain roles despite his talent. But through it all, he stayed grounded in his craft, seeing acting as both therapy and survival. Powell confessed that playing Pinky allowed him to exercise some of his real-life anger and frustration at the industry, saying, "That wasn't just acting, that was me letting out everything I'd been holding in." And yet, as time passed, Powell began to see Next Friday differently, not as a chaotic set, but as a moment of transformation. He started appreciating how the film captured an era of black comedy where authenticity mattered more than polish. But the deeper he dug into his memories, the more uncomfortable truths surfaced. He revealed that several scenes fans loved were never meant to make it into the final cut. The raw, improvised exchanges were kept because Cube recognized their magic, even though the studio initially wanted being too wild or too urban. Powell said that he and Cube had creative disagreements but mutual respect, though he admitted that years later he wished there had been more protection for the cast, both financially and emotionally. Perhaps the most jaw-dropping moment came when Powell discussed what happened after Next Friday's success. He said that despite the fame his character brought him, he wasn't invited back for Friday After Next until fan pressure demanded it. He described feeling hurt and betrayed, believing that his contribution to the franchise had been downplayed, a feeling many actors from that era can relate to. Powell said that when he returned for the third film, he did so with mixed emotions, grateful for the fans, but aware of how Hollywood often discards its black talent once they've served their purpose. He also confirmed rumors that parts of Next Friday's production were marred by feuds between management, cast disputes over credit, and struggles with the studio's budget that forced corners to be cut, which he believes led to unsafe working conditions and emotional burnout. As Powell reflected, his tone turned somber. He said the real darkness wasn't the tension on set. It was how fame distorted people, how laughter masked hurt, and how a movie that brought joy to millions left emotional scars on the people who made it. He spoke about learning to forgive the industry and his colleagues, realizing that everyone was doing the best they could in a high-pressure environment. Still, he urged fans to remember that behind every classic movie moment is a group of human beings carrying unseen burdens. In closing, Powell said something profound. Pinky wasn't just a crazy dude in a pink suit. He was a mirror of me. Loud, flashy, and funny, but deep down, just trying to survive. His words hit differently now, decades later, as audiences re-watch Next Friday and see not just the humor but the humanity behind it. Clifton Powell's confession isn't just about a movie. It's about what happens when art, ambition, and pain collide. It's a story of laughter born from chaos, of fame born from struggle, and of one man finally setting the record straight about a film that made history, but at a price only those who lived it truly understand. Thanks for watching.